My name is Kayla with The Unfiltered Lens. Today I'm here with Ariana Jacob.
Hi.
And she has been in the military, and I wanted her to kind of come on here and tell us about her experience. So you want to start from the beginning and go from there?
Yeah, let's do it. So I grew up in Southern California. I joined the military right outside of high school, right after senior year, and then summertime hit, and I was at Fort Sill, which is Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's where I did my basic training at. After that, I went to San Antonio, Texas. My MOS was a 68 Sierra, which is a preventive medicine specialist.
Okay.
I always wanted to do medical in high school, so I looked at the recruiting office in the Army, and I was like, hey, what medical MOSs do you have?
Yeah.
And they gave me the choice between a 68 whiskey and a 68 Sierra. And then, so whiskey is a combat medic, and a
Okay.
Sierra
Ooh.
is preventive medicine. And I was like, yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I went to AIT, and then I was stationed at Vilseck, Germany.
Okay.
So I was
And
there.
how long were you there for?
Just under 4 years, actually. Yeah, I
Okay.
extended a few times, and then COVID happened. So
Oh yeah. At the ripe age of 18, you moved
Yep.
to a different country.
Yep.
How was that?
I mean, you leave your family, you leave your friends behind. It's an adjustment for sure, but what made it like worth it was the fact that I was like going to Italy on the weekends. Like I would
Oh
just be
yeah.
like, let's go to Paris, let's go to Rome, let's, you just
Yeah,
drive.
exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
so
definitely a lot cheaper to travel there too.
oh
So
yeah,
once you get there, it's cheaper to
oh
travel.
yeah.
But man, I can't imagine you were a little. When did you decide you wanted to go into the military? Like, how old were you?
It was probably like towards the end of my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't something that I like grew up and think like, oh, I want to be in the military, like
Oh yeah,
it wasn't like
exactly.
that. Like both my parents were in the military actually. They were in the Army, and then my mom got out, and then my dad got out after her, and then he joined the Coast Guard. So, and then he remained in the Coast Guard.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh man.
So like I was like a military family, and like so in the back of my mind that was always an option
Yeah.
as opposed to just going to college.
Oh yeah.
So I always like had that little thought like you could just join.
Yeah, it's like a little voice in the back of your head.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure.
Yeah,
I was like, what's the
exactly.
worst that could happen?
Yeah, well, and you told me before, you said that a lot of like kids you were graduating with were like, I'm going to
Yeah.
MIT, I'm going to all these Ivy League schools,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So what was your like big reason you wanted to join the military?
I mean, I wanted adventure, and then I wanted something more with my life. Like I knew I would always go to college. Like I knew I was eventually going to go to college, right? And I didn't want to be like thousands of dollars in debt when I graduated college, because I just wasn't going to be able to afford a UC school.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I wanted to travel too.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard because it's like I feel like you got a fairly good hand. Now you are in the Army, and obviously other branches can kind of speak for themselves. But you got to travel, you got to meet amazing people, you got to kind of figure out who you are, and now you're going to college debt free.
Yeah.
And you have great benefits and a really nice future set up for you.
Exactly.
So as far as I can see, everyone has this like negative point of view on the military, and that it's just horrible. And like you said, sometimes it can have its
right. It's about the job. Yeah, it's about the job.
Yeah.
Like if you're in 11 Bravo, which is infantry, like you're gonna be in the field. You're gonna be.
It's not.
It's not gonna be the best.
Yeah, exactly.
But if that's what you want to do, like you should do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. You really gotta, being a female at least, going into the military and growing up. When you told before you were graduating, when you told like grandparents and friends who were going to MIT, and were they kind of like, huh? Like,
yeah, I'd say a little bit. Like most of my friends, they kind of stayed in like the local area and either went to college in like Southern California, or a few of them moved away. But yeah, most of them, they were always supportive of me. I had really great friends. It did like suck having to leave literally everyone you knew behind.
I can imagine at 18 too.
Yeah,
especially moving countries, not just a state,
a whole new country,
an entire new country.
Yeah. So I mean, like they were supportive of it, and like I ran cross country varsity all 4 years of high school. So
it
was kind of like I was always like kind of athletic and like I liked working out and stuff. So they were like, you'll be fine in that aspect, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I know you, so a little background story. I met Ariana. We have class together, and she has done a couple presentations in class about being a woman in the military, which obviously going into the military is hard as it is. But what were you saying the like ratios of women versus men in the military are?
I believe it's 1 to 6.
I mean, it's definitely getting better.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
I mean, it says it's 1 to 6, but like the medical field, there's a lot more females in the medical field than any other field, I would say. So I was always kind of around like females more than other MOSs. But I mean, there's been times where you like walk in a room and it's like 100 men and 1 female. Or like it's a very like there's always a ratio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like what was it? You were telling us something about squats in your presentation that it doesn't matter how little you are because you might be 115 pounds woman, but you have to lift.
Yeah, so the PT standards, it went from the APFT to the ACFT, so the Army Combat Fitness Test. So, I mean, you have the same weight as all the men. Your standards for scoring is different. So, like, but we have to do this drag, which is like
that's what it was.
Yeah, so that's 90 pounds that you drag, which to me, I'm like 120 pounds, right? So that's literally like 30 more pounds than me. But then a dude who's like 200 pounds, that's like easy. Nothing. It's easy for him, right? So I mean, everything is going to be harder as a female in the military, and it should be because like you should be on the same level as the men.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's been so many times where like, I mean, I am on the same level as the men and, you know, better. But, but like, that's how it should be. Like, you're in competition with them because, I mean, like, yes, I'm much smaller than
even
these dudes.
And even our biology. Like, men are just born to be bigger, stronger than women.
Exactly.
And in the military, like, you're pretty much like you're owned by the country pretty much that they want everything held to a specific standard, man or woman. And so that obviously can be hard. And I know that the military may not be a top choice for a lot of people. That it's definitely scary. I mean, there's been like that every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, I could always do that. Like I could always just like go talk to a recruiter and join. But, and I get, I have a plan. This was maybe way back when I didn't have a plan. But I guarantee there's so many kids out here, especially who are troubled. A lot of troubled kids who struggled growing up family-wise or financially, just kind of really should know about all of the benefits they can get from the military. And I don't think it's talked about enough. I think it's kind of pushed to be like the worst side of growing up. And
one thing I'll say is like everyone I've met in the Army has come from like either a bad place or not great living conditions or anything like that, but the Army has made their lives better. It's significantly. I wouldn't be the person I am today without the military, regardless if like someone had a bad experience or what, but like it is a transformational thing. And I don't regret joining whatsoever. Even all the struggles that, you deal with and like, the hardship and there's hard days, I will say that. But, it has made me so much stronger. Like I'm not the person that joined the military 7 years ago. I'm not that same person.
And now you're doing ROTC and getting your degree.
So this little program, it's a little tiny program that nobody literally knows about. So when you're enlisted, right, you don't have a degree. Officers have degrees. Some people enlist with degrees actually. But so I didn't have a degree, right? I finished 2 years of college online while I was working full time. I actually had more credits than that, but UCCS didn't take them, so it's okay. But yeah, so you have 2 years of college. You apply for this program. You have to have like good PT, recommendations from like your leaders. You have to be well rounded as a soldier, right? So. If you get accepted, you go to college for 2 years. You get paid as your same rank. And you have to use 2 years of your GI Bill, which everyone gets in the military, right? So you'll have 2 years left, but you're getting paid to go to college. And then when you're done, you commission.
And how long do you commission for after?
You have to serve 4 years.
It is 4 years. And then you, I guess, So you'll be what, 26 by the time you're done with college, and then do 4 more years. Well, you'll be an officer right after that.
Yep.
So depending on what's your, I guess your job right now is just doing college, right?
That's my job.
And then prior you were, what was it?
Preventive medicine. So I kind of like public health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you kind of like ready to start something new?
Yeah. I mean, like I like the medical field, but I also did public health when the pandemic happened. So
yeah, that'll kick you out.
That'll do a number on you.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was hard work.
Yeah. Is there any, like, do you have any idea what your job could typically be? When you become an officer?
Yeah, it really depends on like what you want to do and then how well you do at like your ROTC year, as well as like you go to this thing called summer camp, cadet summer training in Fort Knox.
Oh,
yeah, it's a little summer camp. But yeah, it's a month long at Fort Knox, and then how well you do there puts you on like this OML for like the whole country.
Okay.
And then so say you're like high up on the OML list, then you get more priority of the job that you want.
Okay. Do you know what your like top 3 jobs would be?
Yeah, so AG, which is like an HR specialist, you kind of just help soldiers with like personal actions and stuff like that. You know, I've always been like the person to be like helpful, you know, to my soldiers. I had a few soldiers, and like, you know, I was always like getting on them, like, you know, work on your ASVAB score, work on your college. Let me see your, you know, how much you're getting paid. Make sure you're getting paid right. You know? So I feel like that's kind of like my calling.
Yeah.
And then my second choice is finance. I love budgets. I'm really great at like handling money. Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not a business major.
They didn't take my credit. UCCS didn't take my credits. I had 100 credits and UCCS only took 60. So.
Oh my gosh! And you transferred from, was it like military online college related?
Kind of.
That shocks me that they wouldn't take.
I went to American Military University, or I think they call it APUS now, American Public University System.
Okay.
Something like that.
You would think any college would take those, but
and it was towards a marketing degree too. At first, I switched it like 3 times. I had a health science, I had a health science degree, and then I think I had a biology degree, and then I had a business, and then I had marketing. So yeah.
Oh my goodness! And then what was your third choice of job after you become?
I would go back medical. Yeah.
Really?
Just medical. It's kind of like, you know, familiar to me.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'd be hard to go back to something I already kind of know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, and then. So after your 4 years of paying back your ROTC time, again, depending on your job, like, do you think you'll make the full 20, or what do you think about that? Because again, civilian job after you get out of the military also depends on what job you get as an officer, which can be helpful or can't. You never know. But I don't know. What's your plan? Do you think you're more leaning towards the 20 years, or what do you think?
We'll see. Since I have like 2 more years of my GI Bill, I kind of want to go to law school.
Okay.
So
man, girl.
Yeah, I've just realized like there's a lot of legal issues I would like to be more knowledgeable in, and you know, really make a difference. You know, and so if I can do that while I'm in, actually, there's a program in the military that allows you to go to law school while you're still in, and then you come back and you're a JAG, which is a lawyer in the Army. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many programs out there. I mean, the Army will pay for your master's. The Army will pay for your bachelor's. The Army will send you to school, you know? You just gotta apply yourself. And that's the biggest thing is like, you know, you miss all the chances that you don't take. Like, and you just really have to take those chances, because you never know. You literally never know. Everyone told me like this green and gold program was so hard to get. They're like, well, they only accept like 300 people a year out of the Army. So, and I think like almost 2,000 apply. I'm not sure. It's one of those numbers. But they're like, it's so hard to get in. It's hard to get in. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'm going to try. You know? And you're always going to get those people that are like, I don't know, I applied and I didn't make it, you know.
You're like, well, I'm still going to try.
Exactly,
I'm still going to try to get there, Yeah,
so I mean, like, you're going to deal with those people that will try to bring you down, who don't want you to succeed, right? So you've got to push past that and, like, you know, just put yourself out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, so what would you tell, like, because I know there's a lot of probably, I want to say, like, 17 to age even 22 that are still, like, I'm doing kind of a filler job, and I don't know, like, I have no plan. Right. I have no plan. What would you tell them? Obviously, you're going to be military is good for you.
Yeah.
But what would you tell them to get on their level and just like try to convince them that this could be something amazing for them?
I would say like it's never too late. Like we have people in the program right now who've been in the Army for 15 years.
Yeah.
As enlisted, and then they decided to go back to college. So these guys are like almost 40 going to college, right?
Oh yeah.
And like, that's inspiration to me that they still want to do this. You know what I mean? So I would say like, don't be afraid of your age. I think that's the biggest thing too. Like everyone has to think like, oh my God, I'm 18 years old. I have to have my whole life figured out. I have to have it planned right now or else I'm already behind.
Yeah.
This girl's already accepted into college. She's already got a job, an interview. She's already, you know what I mean? Like we have all these like expectations that we see people doing. And tell you what, all those people that in my college or my high school that, had all their college plans ready and all this other stuff, they're doing all right. You know what I mean? But like,
talk about it, dude. Talk about it. Like, let me hear it. What do you have going on?
I mean, like, I would say, like, I'm financially free. Like, I have no debt. There's this little thing called the VA loan. So you're able to purchase a house with that, which in this market is amazing. It's your money down. So in this market, it's amazing. Yes. My husband and I were able to buy 3 houses, actually. I've been able to travel to over 20 different countries.
Oh, yeah.
What else? I mean, like, I've lived a good life through the military and, just take that risk. I mean, if you don't think you can do it, like, just try. Like, what is it going to harm you?
Yeah, exactly. And there might be days that, like you said, suck. Like, there might be days that you're just like, why did I do this? Like, going through basic might be some of those.
That wasn't easy, someone who's never shot a weapon before. My first time was in basic. That was rough. Low crawling on your hands and knees through dirt, gravel, live fire. It's like, it's a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's just like you may have those bad days, but you're also gonna have those bad days doing other things.
Yes.
So you might as well like look into, I just think that there's so many people that I know that don't really have a plan. And I think that the military would be awesome for them. Especially some people that are like maybe struggling at home or don't have parents that are trying to set them up for success. The military is just, it's kind of like a parent. Like it's a parent giving you the path to success, and your living is paid for. Your food is paid for. Like everything is just your school. Everything is paid for and given to you as long as you follow orders and you do what they say, which also does suck sometimes. But again, if you get a job that has a lot of relevance in the civilian world, you do your 4 years and maybe you do school at that time, you come out and you get like a contracting job and you make a whole bunch of money. Like you don't have to stay in for the full 20 years. I just think there's so many things that you can do in the military. That people just don't even, like, they think military, they think soldier or going into war or and it just like completely slips their mind. But there's so much that you can do.
Like literally you can be a veterinarian assistant. You can be, but that's just coming straight out of high school, right? So like maybe you thought about going into the veterinary world, right? When you're like, well, I just don't know about the schooling and stuff like that. Okay, well, join the military. You have free college, free schooling. And if you don't like it, you just get out. Or you can stay in the military and reclass your MOS and choose a different job. So, I mean, I would say to those people that don't, are in like that bad situation at home, like I kind of wanted to leave home as well. I was ready to get out of the house kind of deal, like 18-year-old, like.
Exactly.
So I would say,
college wasn't really like, at that time, money was a big thing. And so college wasn't number one on your mind. So military was kind of like you go away to college and instead you're going away to the military.
Exactly.
And instead you have a full-time job and you're fed and you're, housed. And
housed. And like another thing too is like some people thrive in structure.
Oh yeah.
So like if you're put on like this strict routine every day, like it's gonna cause you to create these like habits of like waking up early, exercising, you're getting paid to work out. Essentially.
You don't have to wake up and pick out your outfit.
No, I know.
You know
Same
what's
outfit
going
every day.
Someone's telling you where to be, when to be there, and what to wear. And you're, you just kind of go along with that. And it does. I mean, some people it's not their cup of tea.
Right.
Like, I don't know if, like, right now thinking I could do it if I really had to, but the want is kind of not there.
Yeah.
But I just think there's so many people out there that just kind of hear the military, like just the word in general.
Yeah.
Like, no, like I would never do that. And especially because everyone experiences it differently. Like you had a great experience.
Yes.
And you are still having a great experience, but those other branches, you know, everything's different. Going from branch to branch, it can be completely different. You could be like, I don't know, you could be stationed somewhere that's really crappy for the whole 4 years and not travel, and you never know.
But you know, on the contrary to that, like say you got stationed at, I don't know, like there's one duty station, Polk, which is in Louisiana, which is also in like, it's like the middle of the nowhere. It's known to be kind of crappy. It's like a swampland kind of deal, right?
Oh goodness.
Right. People, like, you know, you're always going to have like bad situations, but it's how you make that situation better. Okay, I'm stationed somewhere kind of crappy. Let me work on my, like, you know, PT. Let me drop this packet to go do something else. Let me really buckle down on my schooling, you know? Let me work hard on myself, right? Like the people, even in Germany, people were like, oh God, you know, I hate Germany. They never left their barracks room.
Yeah.
They never left their barracks room.
That's
they didn't
frustrating.
do anything, right? So it's like, I would say too, like take everything you hear about someone being in the military with like a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone's going to be different with their opinions and ideas and stuff like that. But your situation is like how you make, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess how you look at it. If you want to be negative Nelly about certain things, or if you want to, maybe I am in this really bad base, but there's also things around it. There's new people that you can like make forever friends with or whatever, and kind of go about that. Like, now that I have somewhat of a tie to the military, I feel like more people have talked to me and said like, oh, I've been in. And I'm like, really? Like, I didn't know that. You find all those connections. But our society nowadays, like those, I guess like my generation is, I don't want to say lazy, but also at the same time, like looks in the military like, oof, like I wouldn't do that. I'd rather like just go do what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's why I say frowned upon, just because they're like, no, like I wouldn't even think twice about that. Which is sad because they do take care of their people very well.
Right.
And so I really just wanted to get on here and just have you talk about your experience with it, because you've done amazing.
Yeah.
So I wish you luck in your next 4 years after becoming an officer.
Appreciate it.
And I appreciate you coming on with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.